Welcome to Extraordinary. I'm your host, Ty Legend. Today on Extraordinary, imagine facing an impossible choice. Cut the rope and save yourself, or hold on and die with your friend. Today, witness a climber's agonizing decision in the Andes and discover how his harrowing survival teaches us to forgive the darkness in others and in ourselves. Imagine hanging by a thread, literally, not metaphorically, literally suspended between life and death, with nothing but darkness below and a shattered leg reminding you that survival is more than just a possibility. It's a choice you make with every breath. This is Joe Simpson's story, but it's really your story too. In 1985, two young climbers stood at the base of Sierra Grande, a 6,344-meter peak in the Peruvian Andes that had never been conquered. Joe Simpson and Simon Yates weren't just climbing a mountain. They were challenging everything they knew about human limits. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when something inside you whispers, "This might be impossible," and another voice roars back, "Watch me." Joe wasn't born a superhuman. He was a kid who read adventure books and dreamed of something more than the ordinary. While other children played safe games, he was mapping impossible journeys in his mind. Mountains weren't obstacles to him, they were invitations. As a teenager, Joe would sit by his window, a worn mountaineering book in hand, his eyes tracing routes up impossible peaks. Those pages weren't just stories. They were blueprints for a life that would defy conventional wisdom. He wasn't reading about adventure. He was studying his future. Simon was cut from similar cloth. At 21, he shared Joe's dangerous blend of ambition and recklessness. They weren't just climbers. They were dreamers who understood that the most profound journeys happen when you're willing to risk everything. Their chosen style of climbing was brutal, alpine style, minimal gear, no safety nets, maximum risk. Every step was a negotiation with gravity, with fate, with their own mortality. Reaching the top of Sierra Grande wasn't just a physical achievement. It was a moment of pure, raw triumph. But triumph, Joe would later learn, is a fickle companion in the mountains. As they stood on that peak, something shifted. The mountain wasn't celebrating with them, it was waiting. One misstep, that's all it took. Joe's leg didn't just break, it shattered. The tibia splintered, driving through his knee joint in a moment that transformed their expedition from a daring climb to a fight for survival. Pain isn't just physical, it's a language. And in that moment, Joe's body was screaming a message neither he nor Simon could ignore. Imagine your best friend is hanging by a rope, broken, dependent on you for survival. The wind is howling, temperature is dropping. Your own life is literally being pulled toward a deadly cliff with every moment you hold on. What would you do? Simon made an impossible decision, an innovative rope-lowering system, a desperate attempt to save his friend, but mountains don't play by human rules. As Simon lowered Joe, something went terribly wrong. The cliff edge appeared out of the darkness. Joe's position became fatal. Some moments define entire lifetimes in a single second. The rope cut. Joe plummeted into darkness. Would you have survived what came next? A crevasse, not just a crack in the ice, but a tomb waiting to claim another victim. Most would have surrendered. Joe Simpson was not most people. Darkness surrounded him, complete, absolute. The only sounds were his own ragged breathing and the occasional drip of melting ice. A broken leg, no food, no water, temperatures that would kill most within hours. But Joe made a decision that defies everything you think you know about survival. He went deeper. If you're enjoying Extraordinary, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Breakthrough Blueprint. Turn setbacks into comebacks using tactics of great underdogs like Stephen Hawking and Lincoln. Now, back to the episode. While most would have looked up, searching for escape, Joe looked down, deeper into the crevasse. Each movement was agony, each inch a battle against physics, against pain, against the mountain's brutal indifference. This wasn't heroism, this was something more primal, a fundamental refusal to die. You might think you know desperation, but have you ever been so broken that your only option is to crawl deeper into darkness, hoping, not knowing, that an exit exists? 3 days, no water except melted snow, a leg that wasn't just broken, but destroyed, frostbite eating away at his extremities. Most medical professionals would call his survival statistically impossible. Joe didn't care about statistics. He broke the impossible into tiny, achievable moments. Not "I must survive," but "I will move 6 inches, then another 6, then another." Your challenges might not involve a mountain, but the principle is identical. Break the impossible into the possible, one microscopic step at a time. When Joe crawled into base camp, he was less than human, a ghost, a walking, barely testament to what happens when pure will confronts seemingly insurmountable odds. Hours, just hours before the team was set to leave, assuming both climbers dead. Here's where most would expect a tale of heroic individual triumph, but Joe's story is more complex, more human. He didn't condemn Simon for cutting the rope. Instead, he understood, truly understood. Forgiveness, not as a grand gesture, but as a profound understanding of human limitation. You're reading this not to be inspired. You're reading this to be transformed. The void isn't a place, it's a decision. When you face your personal mountain, whether it's a career challenge, a health crisis, a relationship breakdown, will you look up in despair or look deeper for possibility? Will you break the impossible into achievable moments? Will you choose to crawl when crawling seems ludicrous? Will you forgive, truly forgive, the impossible choices made in your darkest moments? Joe Simpson survived by refusing to accept the mountain's verdict, by understanding that survival isn't about grand heroics, but about choosing forward motion, inch by painful inch. Your mountain is waiting. What will you choose? Sometimes the greatest act of survival isn't just living. It's choosing to carry on even when you've been cut loose. On the next episode of Extraordinary, imagine being cut loose from everything you know, adrift in a vast, unforgiving wilderness. After witnessing Joe's harrowing descent into the Peruvian Andes, you'd think survival couldn't get more desperate. But what if I told you it could? Next week, we'll meet another hero who faces his own void, this time on the boundless Atlantic. While Joe battled the Andes' unforgiving peaks, our next survivor, a lone sailor, will grapple with the ocean's endless expanse. Prepare to be inspired again as unbelievable survival takes us from the mountains to the sea, proving that no matter how far we're cut loose, there's always more fight left. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Breakthrough Blueprint. 7 days, 7 ordinary to extraordinary transformations. Rewrite your story using the exact frameworks that built empires from nothing. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/EO. Thanks for watching.